hit 40 and I'm like, all of a sudden I can accept myself. I would have loved to have started that journey a little bit earlier. I'd have loved to have understood that there was a scientific brain reason why I feel the way I feel. You know, it's the makeup of my brain. It's not me. It's not me being a problem. It's not me being too much. Bit of a whirlwind going from feeling like I was normal and everybody just struggled and that was a normal thing to, oh gosh, I've actually got ADHD and autism.
Welcome, Ria.
Thank you.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling excited to be here. I've been invited on quite a few podcasts in the past and said no, so yeah, excited to have finally agreed to do one.
Oh, well, I'm honoured. I'm honoured that you've agreed to come on because I've only known you through coming to some of your baby groups. So we didn't know each other before, did we? Mm-hmm. And it was actually a conversation at one of the baby groups. I remember when another lady, well, it was Jess, wasn't it? And Jess said, "Why don't you go on Ellie's podcast?" And I was a bit like, yeah, ask her. So I'm really grateful that you're here. So obviously I know you through going to the groups, us chatting a little bit. But if somebody's never heard of you before, could you give us an insight into who you are?
So I run baby classes. I'm a mum of 4 and started my business after my youngest son. Just decided that I would like to do something different. I'm a wife. I've got some pets. just me.
Well, firstly, mum of 4.
Yeah.
So how old are the children?
So I've got 2 biological children and 2 bonus babes. So they are 15, the eldest, 14, 13 and 7.
Wow.
So, yeah. When I got with my husband, the kids were 2, 3 and 4. So pretty mad. I went from 1 to 3 overnight kind of thing. So 4 kids.
That's
pretty
mental.
Wild. Yeah.
But you've been in their life a long time then?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they're 13 and 15 now. So
wow. You started your business when your youngest was born?
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me about that. What were you doing beforehand? What made you start your business?
Yeah, so prior to that, when I left school, I trained as a florist. So I did my level 2 and level 3 floristry qualification, and then bought and sold a house when I was 18. Like did it up, sold it, made a bit of money.
18?
At 18, yeah.
Wow.
And decided I was going to leave my job and take some time off. Got really bored really quickly of just going to the gym, which I hate now. Don't go to the gym at all anymore, but I used to go every day.
Right.
And then started as a temp at Coventry Building Society for 2 weeks. Only planned to be there 2 weeks. So I was like, I'll just fill a little gap. I worked there for 12 years. 12 years.
You must have really liked it.
It was a great place to work. Yeah, I did really enjoy it. And they were really accommodating with hours and loads of lovely benefits. So, yeah, it was a really good job. But when I had my youngest son, I realised it wasn't really for me. It was a really good job maybe for somebody else, but not the right fit for me. So decided that I wanted to try something different, which... led me to Mamas Mindfulness,
which is a very successful business that you've got now. I know that you're going to be modest and say, oh yeah, but from my perspective, obviously, like first time mom, my friends that had been to your class previously said, go to that one. That one's lovely. So I remember I went on my own and I loved it. I loved you, and the whole environment is really welcoming.
Yeah.
What made you even think I'm going to start a baby group?
Well, I went to a baby class with my youngest and enjoyed it, but I felt like there was something missing.
Right.
The group was very much centred around baby. I was lucky with my youngest biological child that I had some friends off on maternity leave, so they sort of booked the classes, told me how much money I owed and told me where I needed to be, which gave me a push, because I've always been quite a nervous person. So with my eldest, I didn't do a single baby class. I was too nervous. I think I, looking back now, probably had undiagnosed postnatal depression, didn't really do a lot at all. So went to the classes, realised that there was something that I might have preferred from that class as a mum who struggled. In one of the classes in particular, and this really sticks with me, there was a mum who shared with the group that she hadn't found this bond with her baby. She wasn't enjoying being a mum. She didn't really like her child that much. She didn't get anything from it. So she said, I'm giving so much and getting nothing back. And you could see she was really struggling. And the leader of the class didn't really know how to help in that situation.
Wow.
And luckily I was with some friends, and the three of us were there together. So between us, we were able to sort of comfort this lady. But I think it made me realise that people don't always enjoy it, and people need a space where they can feel safe to share that and then get the support back. And that's sort of, I left that class and started training. Pretty much straight away, I decided that I wanted to learn more about what we were doing so I could give people a better understanding of what we were doing in the classes.
Yeah.
And tried to create a business that I would have needed when I was, one, struggling with my firstborn and not going to classes because I was too intimidated, and two, able to offer somebody, if they were ever in the same situation as that lady, some support just to make them feel like they're not alone, because there's so many people who don't enjoy motherhood in the first instance. You know, you think you're just going to fall in love with this baby and it's going to feel great and you're going to all of a sudden feel complete, and then you realise actually it's really hard, really isolating.
Yeah.
You're not getting a lot back in the first few months when they're not smiling, they're just crying at you and they just want feeding, and that can be really tough. So I wanted to create a space that made that a little bit easier for people, and that's where it started.
And that's exactly what you've done. So the classes, I know that you do a range of different ones. So the one that I've been to is the baby stay and play. And then I've done I don't think I've done 2 of your event ones, haven't I?
Yeah.
I did the Christmas one. And then did I do another one actually? Or did I book one? I wanted to do the Valentine's one and I couldn't make it. So that's my sort of perception of it, is at Burton Green Village Hall, which is a lovely venue, by the way.
Yeah.
And it's a space that you can go with your baby. Your selection, this is your selling point from me. So for those who don't know, Ria has a selection. How many boxes of different coffees have you got?
Too many. Too many. But I think if a mom comes to my class and she's got a coffee in mind that she wants and she's had a bad night, that coffee needs to be available.
And it's there. It's there.
Yeah.
She's got milk, mint chocolate mocha. What did I have last week? I had a pumpkin spice latte. and autumnal drink.
It's all there.
You've also got snacks, porridge and stuff like that. So it's lovely. What are your other classes that you do?
So on a Monday, I run luxury baby massage at the Basement Snug. So that one's a much smaller group,
right?
Like nice and intimate. I make a little WhatsApp group for the people there so they can meet outside of the group. They can share different baby groups in their little WhatsApp group. The focus for that is teaching mums or parents how they can help baby if they're struggling with any digestive issues, teething pain. So they learn all that while they're in the class, but it's very much centred around parent. It's very much to make mum feel like she's got a space to come and drop her shoulders. I read a poem that I've written at the end of the session. We do a little gratitude circle. We talk about what we've been through that week. We cry, we laugh.
Yeah.
It's a safe space for people to come and share what they're going through. And a lot of the time, because people start that in the really early days, all of the other parents in the class are at the same stages, so they're in the depths of things with you.
Together, yeah.
So they're able to talk about that and get comfort knowing that they're not alone, which is really nice.
Amazing.
So that's the Monday. I run 3 of those on a Monday.
What, like back to back for you sort of thing?
Yeah. So, one after the other. And then on a Wednesday, I do massage, movement and music at Burton Green Village Hall, and I do 2 of those. And that is like a mixture of baby massage, baby yoga, sensory play, really nice and fun, all to music, all themed. But it's, again, loads of benefits for baby. I talk through all of those things, but it's centred around the parent as well, so that they've got some time to chat. If they come and they don't want to do any of the baby massage or any of the baby yoga, and all they need from that class is to come and have a chat with another grown-up, I'm there for it. They can do whatever they want from the class, yeah.
And I think that's what makes it a little bit unique, because it's, you know, I went to, funny actually, I've actually only been to one other in my whole time that I've had Teddy, just because I'm always so busy and she just comes with me. I went to just the sensory room in Leamington, Warwick way. Big sensory room, loads of lights, padded sort of flooring. And I went there with Jess that I mentioned, and Cherie, the wife of my friend Tom, who's now my friend too. But we went there and that was lovely. But that's the only other one. I've only been to that one once, and I preferred your one just for me. And I know it's like sort of everyone's got their own tastes and stuff, but I just really like your one. So the baby massage and the
Massage, movement and music.
Massage, movement and music.
Yeah.
They are bloody booked up, Ria.
Yes.
Aren't they?
Yeah, yeah.
They're popular.
They get booked up, yeah. Really popular.
So, yeah, well done you, and keep going. How has your life changed since like starting your business?
I think it's changed remarkably, to be fair, because I started it as a hobby, not really knowing if it was something that I could do.
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough at the time, after having Ronnie, that I didn't really need to work. We were in a place where, you know, my husband could provide, so I didn't need to go back to work and spend all of my money on paying somebody else to look after Ronnie. So it was just let's give it a go and see what happens. And when I need to return to work, I'll do something more serious.
Yeah.
I'll go back to, you know, a full-time job. The hobby turned into something very popular. You know,
was it straight away or?
Yeah, straight away I was sold out. Yeah, straight away, right from the get-go, I was sold out on every class that I did. I was really unfortunate though. I say right from the get-go, I was sold out on every class I did. I started my business in November. In the March, we went into lockdown and I had to take 2 years out. So I was very unfortunate. But I do believe that everything happens for a reason. I would have been furloughed on full pay. But if I'd have never left my job of 12 years, which was very comfortable and which I, you know, thoroughly enjoyed, I never would have done it. So I think had I have not done it before lockdown and been in that situation, I'd have stayed forever. Yeah. And I'd have been there in 60 years going, I started and I was meant to do 2 weeks. Yeah. And I'd have still have been there because it was such a lovely place to work. So I think, you know, regardless of the fact I had to take 2 years out, as soon as I started the business back up, I was very lucky that people were coming straight back.
I suppose that with the lockdown as well, like people have been locked in exactly. As well. So to get out and get to a group and get socialising again.
Yeah.
Amazing. So the journey that you've been on, in terms of you, say, before you started your business and you now just as a person, like, were there any fears that you wouldn't make it in terms of 100%. Taking this risk?
Yeah, 100%. So as I said, I just did it as a hobby and thought if people don't come, it's fine. Doesn't matter. But it's helped me to build so much confidence as a person because I've realised that actually I am likeable. People come for me. I have people travel from like an hour away to come for a 45-minute class.
There was a girl from Birmingham there last week.
Which is amazing. Yeah. Like, it's so nice. And that's made me feel like, oh my God, like I'm doing okay.
I can do this, yeah.
People like want to come for me. And I think, I say this in my class all the time, like I am that self-employed person who is literally doing a happy dance, throwing my phone at my husband going, people are coming for me. Oh my God, they're booked onto my class. And like, it's amazing to know that I've been able to do that. And I think I've always felt like I'm never quite enough. I've recently been diagnosed with ADHD and autism. So I've always felt like I don't quite fit in. I've always felt like there's something not quite right with me, but not really known. I'd been to the doctors in the past and they diagnosed me with anxiety and depression,
Right.
which is a side effect of having ADHD. So naturally, it probably just felt like that. I think it's really easy for women to mask having ADHD and autism. So I've been through life sort of masking that and trying to fit in and just hope that people accept me for what I am. And all of a sudden I've realised that people like me, which is
for
really
literally
nice.
just being you.
Yeah. And actually, like, I think that although I struggle, so many of the strengths that I've got that make my business successful are part of my ADHD and autism, because I'm brutally honest, because I like want to share everything and overshare everything, because I've got no filter. You know, all of those things, the empathy that I have because I'm autistic, and the fact that I can read people so well and I can notice a shift in energy immediately without people having to say things. I generally know when a mum comes to class and she's not okay, which means I can support them that little bit more, which is, it's tough living with ADHD and autism for anybody who hasn't got it, and anybody who has will understand that. But it also comes with many strengths that I'm starting to try and reflect on now, which is making me feel good. Yeah,
I think obviously it must be a challenge, but also there are elements to it which are a gift, i.e. being able to spot if somebody's struggling, being like a good sort of energy reader, but also being able, once you are focused on something, you can throw your all into it, because I imagine, well, the proof's in the pudding, that's exactly what you've done with your business. When did you get that diagnosis or diagnoses?
So the ADHD one, I think, was December this year.
25?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then autism, January. So both pretty close together. Bit of a whirlwind, going from feeling like I was normal and everybody just struggled and that was a normal thing, to, oh gosh, I've actually got ADHD and autism. That's why I struggle so much. This all makes sense now.
Yeah. What was it that made you go for tests? And a second question as part of that, were there any signs, did you ever think, I know that you mentioned like you struggled to fit in and stuff, but did you ever think that you had these
Never.
earlier on in your life?
Never thought I had anything earlier on other than just feeling a bit anxious and a bit stressed, and never considered that it was that, because I think within society you see so much about boys having ADHD and autism, boys acting out, boys being boisterous, boys, if they're autistic, having special interests and liking trains and being good at maths. And there's all these preconceptions that people have which actually don't represent the reality at all, and don't represent women especially. But for anybody who knows me will feel like I'm a really confident person. So they would naturally be like, no way could you be autistic. You know, you expect an autistic person to be quiet and not want to engage with people, not be able to make eye contact, not be able to do all these things that I can do. You know, so I think it's never been a consideration. I went for the assessment to see if I had, after my daughter, who's 14, has struggled quite badly with her mental health since starting secondary school. She's in a mainstream secondary school, which just doesn't fit her. She went to primary school and there was 15 per year group there, really nice small school. So probably managed to mask her symptoms very well. Got into a really big school, struggled getting to classes, struggled with noise, struggled just being in that environment.
Bless her.
And I saw a little reflection of me going, oh my gosh, this was me. And the more we dove into it, you know, she, and the more I researched what she might be struggling with, realised that it seemed like she had ADHD. And then she had her assessment, was diagnosed, and they said, you need to get an autism test as well. She's definitely autistic. So we went through that process and got the autistic diagnosis as well.
Just on that, Ria, when they said you need to do the second test, was that a shock to you?
Yeah, it was, because again, we'd just researched the ADHD, which was a shock in itself. We hadn't seen the things that she'd been able to mask while she was smaller. So all of a sudden we were like, my gosh, I think she's actually got ADHD. The more research we did, we realised that she sort of fit every single symptom, or whatever you call it,
symptom.
And then when they mentioned the autism, we booked her in for the assessment, and I started doing my research, as I do, because I'm autistic and like to know everything about it, and realised that actually she fit all the criteria for that as well. So yeah, big shock. And I think that one for her was a much bigger shock, because again, you're represented in a certain way, and she's really high functioning. She's incredible. Sorry, getting a bit emotional. And I think like people, again, have this preconception of what you look like or how you would present yourself if you're autistic. So for her, she found that more difficult to come to terms with. And when you look a certain way as well, you get met with, you don't look autistic. You're really pretty. You don't seem like you could be autistic. And then it makes you feel like you've got to sort of prove that,
bless her heart,
you're not being a fraud, which, it's tough.
How were her, did she have friends around her at the time that were sort of supportive?
She's got some lovely friends, and she's got support. She's coping okay.
Bless
But
her.
I think it's tricky for anybody to get that diagnosis, but for a 14-year-old girl who's already going through the mill of being a 14-year-old girl in today's society, it's a lot to take on. Yeah.
So you were going through that journey alongside her, obviously, because you're a mom.
Yeah.
And I don't know enough about you, but I already know that you're a fantastic mum. You can just tell that you are. The element of learning about, they've told us to look into autism then, reading the traits, was that the sort of sign for yourself to go, hang on a minute, I've got some of these as well? Yeah. What kind of traits were there that stood out to you?
So the main one that I probably struggle with the most is social interaction.
Right.
So I get really nervous before any kind of social event. I'll have told myself 15 times that I'm not going before I actually manage to get my foot out the door. I have a great time.
Just on that as well, could that be, what would that be, like a big event or like a family barbecue?
Anything.
Party? Okay.
Anything. I get nervous before literally everything.
Right.
I feel like I don't want to go to anything.
Yeah.
I just struggle. I'll make my excuses. I'll have written a text and gone, I'm not going to go. And then I'm like, I should be going. This actually is something I do want to go to. It's not that I don't want to be there. It's just I don't feel like I can physically get myself there. So there's that struggling. And then when I have been to the event, I get there, life and soul of the party. Love my life. I'm there on the tables, last one going home.
Yeah.
Love it. But then I'm depleted for days. That social interaction really takes it out of me. And my social battery's void. So I sort of have to allow myself, and I think now I'm getting older and I understand and I'm researching more, I have to allow myself that time to sort of reboot myself.
Yeah, recharge.
Exactly, yeah. And then also the special interests. The special interests, which now make so much sense. So when I was growing up, I was obsessed with frogs. And I had 264 frog ornaments and pillars.
I thought you were going to say frogs then. No. I thought you were going to say
264
frogs.
No, 264 frog ornaments, different bits and bobs.
What, photo frames or
anything you could find?
Right.
Anything you could find that had a frog on it. I had it. I loved them so much. But I also did go to ponds and collect frogs and like loved looking at the life circle of a frog and found them fascinating. I made school projects on frogs and, was totally obsessed.
You're breaking my heart
Yeah,
here. That's
them.
wicked.
Loved them. Yeah, so there was that I just thought I really liked frogs.
Yeah. So you didn't think, right, this is
did
me
not associate with
hyper-focusing
that,
on something.
that I was completely, that was my special interest as an autistic person. It never occurred to me. Lives is pigeons. So, yeah, just things that I sort of hadn't considered because I didn't realise that was a part. I just thought it was normal.
Well, people have hobbies, people have interests.
Yeah, so I hadn't really considered it at all. And the more that I looked, the more I realised that actually I identify with all of the traits. So wild though.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I think it's also interesting that you got diagnosed at such a later sort of time frame, and there's no right or wrong time. I know that some people try and get like young children diagnosed and they can't be until they're 3 or 4 or something.
Yeah, that's
right. I don't know the guidelines, but then obviously your daughter getting diagnosed bang in the middle of a really difficult time for her. When is the right time to hear that kind of?
I don't know whether there's any right time. I do think, though, things might have been very different for me had I have known earlier.
Okay.
Because all of a sudden, I've hit 40. I've just found out I've got
You're
ADHD
not
and
40.
autism.
I didn't know that
40.
Jesus Christ, you look great.
Thanks. So I've hit 40 and I'm like, all of a sudden I can accept myself, which I would have loved to have started that journey a little bit earlier. I'd have loved to have understood that there was a scientific brain reason why I feel the way I feel. It's the makeup of my brain. It's not me. It's not me being a problem. It's not me being too much, which so many people with ADHD and autism experience. You feel like you're a burden. You feel like, why is everyone else able to do these things that I can't do? What's wrong with me?
Yeah.
Like, why can't I remember that appointment? Why am I failing at everything? Why am I letting everybody down? Why can't I go to that party that I really want to go to and I can't get through the door and I'm like making flaky excuses to my friends and people I love? Like, that's difficult.
Yeah.
So I think if I'd have understood that, I'd have understood how to navigate those situations a lot better. And now when I am feeling like that, instead of making a flaky excuse, I tell people the real reason why I can't do those things. And everybody understands, which means that I don't feel so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely easier, I think, having a diagnosis than not, because it does allow you to give yourself a lot more grace.
But yeah, the powerful message that you're sharing here is it's almost as if you've always been you've always acted in the way that you do and maybe struggle in certain environments, but hearing that it's something else, so it's your brain, it's ADHD or it's autism, it sounds as though hearing that has made you come to terms with it and come more towards feeling at peace with yourself.
Yeah, I'm more accepting of myself, I think. I think all of a sudden it's like, it's just me. Like, I'm okay. I just struggle a bit more than people who have normal brain function.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That's not my fault. That's not something I'm doing, which in the past I've always thought, I've been to numerous therapy. I've tried loads of things. The doctor recommended going on these pills and that pills, and I've tried my best to navigate the situation without that. I've never quite felt like I've done enough to get a grip on it. And all of a sudden now I'm like, it's okay. I don't need to. If I'm struggling on that day, that's okay. I don't have to get a grip on this.
No.
I don't have to have it all together all the time. And now I understand why I feel like that. It's a lot easier to, accept myself.
And I love that you've found yourself at that place where that is the case, you know, be it Liv, your daughter, Liv, is that
Yeah,
name?
that's right.
Liv going through what she's going through, you supporting her, and then you actually finding some answers and some clarity along the way as well. Interesting, you know, when you said earlier, like sometimes or previously you'd struggled with maybe like anxiety, depression, and you went to the doctors about it. It's actually really common as well.
Yeah.
Let's take you back to a time where you're struggling with things. You don't know that you've got ADHD and autism at this time, but you're just struggling, trying to get a grip on everything and thinking, you know, why is this happening? Or why can't I do X, Y, and Z? When you haven't got the answer to fill in there, what's that going to do? That's going to make you a bit sad, probably anxious to go into those kind of situations. So sometimes that is like another avenue that professionals might go down, like, oh, well, you've got this, there's the answer. But it's like, it's not all, and I'm no doctor, but it's not necessarily the case. You may be depressed because you haven't got the actual real answer, which is that diagnosis.
Absolutely, yeah, because you feel like something's not right. But I don't understand what it is. I don't understand why I can't cope with the same things as other people.
Yeah.
So and for anybody who doesn't have ADHD, I have this little person in my head. It's just me talking to me all the time. Like my brain never rests. It's never not telling me or making up a story or readdressing something from 3 years ago that I did that I wish I hadn't have said in that conversation.
Yeah.
You know, so you can quite easily make up a scenario in your head that it is all you and you're a failure and you're not good enough. And that's why it's so important people try and get a diagnosis or people understand the symptoms like more, because you would just find yourself thinking there's something wrong with you when actually there's nothing wrong. You've just got ADHD.
Yeah. Some people have ADHD on its own. Some people have autism on its own. With the ADHD that you have, how does it impact you?
So I have combined ADHD.
Right.
So I've got the hyperactive and the inattentive. So I find it difficult to concentrate. I find it difficult to stay on task. I get distracted really easily. I can be looking at you and listening to you, but not really listen to anything you're saying. My brain just switches off. I find it really difficult and found it really difficult all through school trying to learn, because if I'm not really interested in something, I can't take it in. I can't follow instructions very well, so I could not follow directions. I can't process lots of things at once. I have to do everything one by one. So you could tell me to go left, that's fine. But if you tell me to go left and then right, and then it's all gone in my head straight away. Whereas my husband, he amazes me, because I'm like, you just retain every bit of information that anybody's ever told you. It just stays. And I'm like, how do you know? Like, he can do one journey and he knows how to...
I can go there the same without the
70
again.
times I can do it and still not know where I'm going, because it's like I'm not paying attention to sort of what I'm doing. I struggle with emotional regulation massively. So things that might not bother other people, I'm sort of at 0 to 10 within 3 seconds.
And what is that emotional? Could that be any? So would it be 0 to 10 sadness, 0 to 10 anger?
Yeah, anything. Anything. Same with happiness.
Right.
Literally anything.
Right.
So the excitement I will get will be so much like if I see something I like, or if I want to do something, or there's something going on that excites me, I'm like, whereas I think, it's all like a lot, which I think is why it's so exhausting, because the feelings that you have are so exaggerated, like all of the time. But like the anger and the sadness, it feels like it physically hurts.
Right.
Like things that aren't really that deep. If it upsets me, I can physically ache from that pain.
I hear you.
So, somebody might say something to me and say, well, don't be silly, it's nothing to be upset about. And I'm like, I literally can't shake that. And that might be days of not being able to shake that.
That one comment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is, yeah, really difficult. And obviously then to be in relationships with people and have a family, when you struggle with emotional regulation, you know, I'm very transparent with my kids, and I might lose my temper and, you know, say something I don't want to say. But I'm also very aware of people's feelings. So if I have ever hurt somebody's feelings or ever like thought that I might have upset them or said something that might have bothered them, I'm very quick to be there apologising, and I'm very comfortable with saying to them, like, my brain just doesn't work the same as yours. I'm like, I struggle, and that was not a representation of what you've just done. That's very much me. That's me, and I need to work on myself.
Accountability right there.
Yeah, I mean, I have always felt like a problem, and I've always felt like because I can't regulate that emotion, I don't want my kids to think that they're doing something to warrant me being frustrated. So I will always say, this is a me thing. This isn't you. If I just lost my temper with you, and when I say temper, I don't mean I lose my temper. Just if I'm like, oh God, oh, this is annoying. I will be saying to them, that was me that was annoyed then, not because of what you were doing.
Yeah.
And that's something that I hope shows them that it's okay to make a mistake. It's okay to lose your temper. It's okay to get annoyed about something and then go, that wasn't really okay then. I'm going to own that and go, I've made a mistake, and we all do that. Like, we all have times where we get frustrated, and we can apologise, and it's okay. Like, that's okay to do. But I have always, struggled and not felt quite good enough, because I always think, like, I'm sure other people don't react in the way that I do sometimes.
And I think, as you mentioned before, like that little you in your head, that little voice in your head, if that's constantly on the go, you're going to be thinking of or overthinking each situation. Yeah. So if you do feel, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that, that voice in your head's going to make that 10 times worse anyway.
And that's like, I think I just said about like being angry or being like overreacting. The one that gets me the most is not actually doing that. It's reacting to something that somebody will say to me, or one of the kids will say to me, and I might cry.
Right.
And I might think they don't love me. And I will feel like I'm not good enough. And the boys who aren't my biological children, if they say something, I'm like, in my head, oh, I bet they wish their real mum was here. Like, I'm not good enough for them. Like, I bet they hate me. I bet they wish that I weren't here. You know, things like that then impact my relationship with them, because I'm not able to talk myself down from that.
Well, that was going to be my next question. Like, how do you get yourself out of that kind of mindset if that happens?
I think since my diagnosis, I'm talking to myself and telling me it's not real. This isn't real. This is like my son, who's 7, is also autistic, not diagnosed, but we've known from day dot that he was autistic from as soon as he could walk and talk. We knew.
Was that before, or was that due to you seeing it with Liv?
No. This was completely before. We always knew that Ronnie was autistic, but never even considered that Liv was, because she masks so well. Or me. No.
Wow. So what were the signs then with Ronnie?
Like, his biggest one is like sensory overload. He has to wear like loop earplugs to school. He can't be in an assembly without getting overwhelmed. He doesn't like talking in front of people. He's very socially reserved. When he was younger, he used to struggle with his temper quite a lot. He had speech therapy when he was younger because he struggled talking. So lots of things that were typical of an autistic boy.
Yeah.
So that was sort of a given. We haven't got him diagnosed yet. We are starting the process of that now, but he can't wear socks. He wears Crocs to school because he can't take the feeling of socks, or he doesn't like trainers without socks. He doesn't like jumpers. So lots of things with him that we've had to sort of manage since he was really little. He's incredible. He's the most kindest.
I see.
He's just the most incredible.
Has he got any like fixations, anything that he's really interested in?
No,
and I know it's different.
not so
I know the
much.
spectrum and what is textbook might not be the same as everybody else, but
Not
I
so
always
much.
find
He
it
just
fascinating.
he likes Lego, and he likes sitting and and he could play with it for hours. Like, he is so happy in his own company, and he will sit and make a whole little scenario with all of his little men, and he'll line them all up, and he'll be talking to them all, and it is just the sweetest thing to witness. And he has the kindest soul. And we were talking about something the other day on the way to school, and he said something about somebody being autistic. And I said, "Oh, how did you identify that they're autistic, baby?" And he said, "Well, they're really kind. They're a really kind person, and they notice when people feel sad. And I think that's what makes you autistic, Mummy." I was like,
Did that make me cry?
oh my God, he's just the sweetest little soul.
Bless him.
And that's because he's that person in the group at school who notices if somebody's sad and will go over and check in on them. And he's got a friend at school who's also autistic. And we went to a school disco, and Ronnie found it very overwhelming. It's the first one he'd agreed to go to. He's always said no. And the music was too loud for him. And his little autistic friend come over and said, "Ronnie, I know you're struggling. It's really loud here, isn't it? I'll play with you and I'll look after you." And it's actually amazing seeing how in tune
They can be with one another.
Yeah, amazing. At such a early age.
Yeah.
That little boy's 6. And actually, he's one of my first clients. He came to my classes with his mum when he's a baby. So it's really nice to see that full circle of him being there to look after Ronnie, and, you know, Ronnie being able to be there for him. And actually, again, that strength that they struggle in that school environment, but the strength of being able to identify as a 6 and 7-year-old, like, if somebody's struggling, and saying, "I'm going to be there for you. I'm going to look after you today. I'm going to give you a cuddle," and seeing them behave like that at that age is incredible.
And in my opinion, that's what life's all about. Like,
Yeah.
it's about being kind. It's about being caring and attentive to each other. And I'm not saying that, you know, just individuals or just people or children with autism have that. But the fact that it's more prevalent, or you can really see it as a trait, like, how amazing is that?
Yeah, it is.
Bless his little heart. So you give me an insight into your ADHD and how it impacts you. And speaking from like a generic point of view, the stereotypical, and again, you don't look like an autistic person, or you're not acting like somebody with ADHD, but how do your ADHD and autism sort of complement each other?
Or
do
complement.
they
completely
contrast?
conflict. It's
Right.
like having the little devil here and the little angel
this is the
here.
thing, because
going, behave yourself, you're autistic. You want structure, you want everything to be a certain way. Like, I am so particular with doing things. Everything has to be done in a certain order. If it's not done in a sort of same order.
What, like in your cupboards?
Everything. Just like cooking a meal. Like, if Paul was to come and try and help, and he didn't do the thing that needed to be done in a certain order, even if we got the same result, it would feel stressful for me for it not to be done in the structure that I'd planned it in my head. Because in my head, everything's got this plan and structure that I need to run through for it to be successful. And that's like probably my ADHD and autism. Like, I found some tools that make things work for me. So I've learned that I have to do it in this order so that I don't forget things and I don't lose where I'm at. But generally, most of the time, they just conflict each other, because I've got this spicy one on this side that's going, we want a bit of fun. We want to do crazy things, and I've got this side of me going, you cannot cope with that.
Whoa, yeah,
slow down.
Yeah.
So it's really difficult having the two, because the traits are so different.
Yeah, they are.
And so contrasting.
With the treatment or support, I can tell that you've done a lot of research, you've done a lot of learning, as you mentioned earlier, but is there any treatment, any support that you were offered, that you found for yourself?
So we went private with our both of our diagnosis.
You and Liv?
We both did, yeah. So and with the ADHD and autism. So I had no choice with the ADHD because NHS up until now hasn't covered over 25s. So they don't do any assessments for over 25s.
Wow.
I actually read last night that they in Coventry are starting to do that again, because they're seeing a significant amount of people needing that support, which is amazing. But we went private, and the private healthcare that we did it with, the company that we did it with, they offer, so I've done psychoeducation sessions for both ADHD and autism. So I do weekly sessions, a 90-minute group session with all late diagnosed ADHD and autistic people, two separate ones. So a course for the ADHD and a course for the autism. And
is that like face-to-face, Zoom?
It's Zoom. So we just go on a Tuesday morning for an hour and a half. We learn the science behind having ADHD and autism. We discuss our experiences. We talk about what it looks like for us. We offer advice to each other, which is great. So we have that. I also was offered therapy. So I've got 10 weeks of therapy starting. I chose to do that after the psychoeducation sessions because they're quite intense. I wanted to do that after the course had finished, just to give me a bit of time to take everything that I'd learned and then start the therapy after that. The therapy was actually recommended after the autism diagnosis. The lady who did my diagnosis said that it might be beneficial because you're probably going to spend some time grieving the life that you could have if you'd have known a bit sooner. There's going to be things that come up for you that you're going to wish that you knew at an earlier age, so you could have dealt with situations differently.
Which is literally what you said earlier, isn't it? Like being able to accept yourself for who you are.
Yeah. So I will start that in a couple of weeks. And then I've also signed up to be an ADHD and autism coach, so separately. So I'm in the process of doing the ADHD coaching at the moment, just so I can learn as much as I can to help both myself and Liv. And then the autism one, I'll be able to help Bonnie as well. But also there's a potential to help other people, make other people feel more seen, heard. So, yeah, just trying to learn as much as I can about it so that I can help myself, help my babies, and potentially in the future, if it feels aligned, then help other people. And then also I have just started my ADHD medication.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm on day 3 with my very dry mouth because that is one of the side effects.
You've not had some of your water there. You can if you want. So first of all, I'll take you back. I want to talk about the medication as well, but the private route that you went down, how long was it? Like from finding somebody, paying for it, getting
approximately, I was going to say 12 weeks, but it might have been shorter than that. The medication bit was 12 weeks. It was not long.
That's not that long.
It was not long. It was an incredible turnaround.
Wow.
And makes me realise how fortunate we were to be able to do that when the wait is so long on the NHS, because it's allowed us to start this journey so much earlier than we would have if we were sort of waiting. It's amazing that that's there for people who can't access private healthcare, but I feel really fortunate that we've been able to access that now.
Can you remember the name of the people that you used, just if listeners wanted to search?
We've done it with Problem Shared.
Problem Shared, okay.
Yeah, so they've done all of the diagnosis and they then offer all of the aftercare as well.
And the therapies through them?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
So the medication then, because some people from a previous life, like jobs that I've had supporting people with like ADHD, different mental health diagnoses, some people will have the medication, some people won't. I've heard that they take one form of the medication and it makes them, it's like you're in a really, really busy environment and then it just goes shh. But obviously there's different types. So what was your experience with it?
So
I know you're on day 3, but...
Yeah, day 3. So to begin with, I'm one of the people who's like no to medication.
Okay.
I don't even take a paracetamol.
Why is that?
I just don't. I'm not sure why it is. I'll take it if I'm absolutely desperate. It's like only if it's really bad. Something's really bad, then I might take one. My husband will push one in my direction and say, come on, it's time to take a paracetamol, babe. But I've always been I can try and ride it out. I'll drink some more water. I'll have a walk. I'll do something to make it feel better without taking medication. So a big leap taking medication for me, because I've gone from no paracetamols to something that I could be taking for the rest of my life. But I knew that I was struggling. I knew that I needed some help.
With the focusing and the
focusing and mainly the gremlin.
Okay.
Telling me that I wasn't good enough and just helping me to feel more settled, I guess, was what I was hoping for. Feeling more accepting of myself. I had a meeting with a guy who described it as like just having a silence, that little voice being gone and you being able to determine whether it was a real thought or whether it was an intrusive thought, and knowing that there was an option for me to feel settled and more calm, seems really enticing. And I do feel that. Like the first day I took it, I felt like, wow, I'm like, something's different.
What's the name of the medication?
Elvance.
Elvance, okay. And the fact that day 1 you were feeling something is a positive, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I just actually before here went to lunch with my husband and said, could this be the start of me feeling better? Like, is this it? Is this it? Is this the start of, imagine.
I mean, I think it's very much a possibility. We need to like combine all of these things that you're doing here. Like you've not only getting some support for your daughter, which I would imagine has really been impacting on you and your family, and just making sure that she's okay, because you're a mom. But also that element of, oh, hang on a minute, I'm working things out for me here.
Yeah.
Then realising, oh, hang on a minute, no, it's not me. It's not the fact that I'm just a little bit different or I feel a little bit different. It's the fact that I've actually got 2 neurological sort of conditions, I think, is a bit strong, because I don't see either of those as a negative. Like, I see them as gifts for you. I don't hear the gremlin in your head, and I don't see when you get stressed looking at a map. Do you know what I mean? But picking out the positives for what you've got, the empathy that you've got, the compassion, the ability to be able to set your mind to something and absolutely run with it. The fact that you like order and structure. I wish I had order and structure in my life where I can't. But these are all elements that are just sort of slotting into place a little bit for you.
Yeah.
You've then got another massive leap of, I don't take medication, I don't take paracetamol, I'm taking something which is, let's be honest, like 6 months ago, none of this was on your radar.
Not at all.
Was it? Like, so that's then, but you're thinking, well, I've got this far, I'm going to sort of grab it with 2 hands. So I think, yeah, absolutely, this could be the start of something.
Yeah.
How might life feel if you could sort of shut that gremlin up in your head? How might things feel different for you?
Oh my gosh, amazing. Just the thought of it, honestly, just I don't think I can even put into words. Just knowing that I could have a day of just feeling calm and just knowing that I'm enough would be incredible. And also knowing that there's a potential for that to transfer to Liv, going down the same route. And that was one of the reasons I decided to take the medication, because I couldn't advocate for her to do that if I wasn't doing it myself. So knowing that she could all of a sudden feel the same way and be at peace will be, incredible. So I'm hoping that both of us will have our little gremlins not talking to us anymore.
But do you know what? Like, massive respect for you for having the courage to do something about it and figure it out. Even the element of, like, that core belief that gremlin is telling you, I'm not enough, you're not good enough, you don't fit in, all of these kind of, like, negative comments. I used to say to some of the people that I used to work with, like, that's like a negative radio in your head. You have a positive channel and you have a negative one. And unfortunately for you, from what you're sharing, your negative radio has just been a lot louder.
All blast all the time.
Constantly. Yeah. But are you able, or do you think you might be able to get to a place where you are able to be able to, like, go, no, I know what you are. I know that you're always going to be there. I know you're trying to make me feel like I'm having a shit day. Are you able to talk to it in that way yet?
Not yet, I don't think, but I've always thought that there was no way I could ever do that. Yeah. And now I think there is definitely a way that I will be able to do that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm only on day 3 and I've gone for the lowest dose because I was so nervous about taking medication. So this is just a tiny little, like, taste of the medication, really. And I already feel different. So I know, like, I get a 3-month period and I'm well looked after in that time, and I have regular reviews and they will up and change my dosage, make sure that the medication's right. I fully believe that by the end of that 3 months, I will feel differently. Yeah.
Fabulous. I want you to let me know in 3 months' time how you are feeling as well. So one of our listeners has said, when will you put on more stay and play sessions? 3 laughing faces.
Oh.
Do you know what, though?
You love it.
I'm actually seconding this one because it's on a Thursday and I now can't come to the Thursday ones. So
I think these mean the older stay and play. I think this is people who used to come to the old one, which I've stopped.
Oh, right.
Potentially. That's what I'm guessing. I used to run it on a Thursday at the same time as a baby stay and play.
Right.
So I think that's what they mean. If it's you guys, I love that you love it. But never.
Fair enough, my love. And then the last one, I'm pretty sure that we've already answered it, but it's just a nice comment at the beginning. It says, absolutely loved your classes. Thanks for making me feel so welcome. Did you ever think it would be so popular?
No. Never.
That gremlin must have been... That gremlin's had a right bloody pie in its face, hasn't it?
Yes. Yes, it has. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming onto this podcast. I think, obviously, I wanted to get you on just because I really like you. I really like your baby class. But then when you gave me an insight into, like, just you and your life and your journey, I know that you've been asked to go on other podcasts before, but the fact that you've chosen to come on mine, like, it's an honour. How have you felt chatting today?
Lovely. It's been really nice being here, yeah. Thank you for asking me and me being here.
Yeah, no, honestly, it's been a pleasure. You've given me, like, I've learned so much about how ADHD, autism can impact different people. Like, obviously, from just life in general, old jobs that I've had, it affects everybody differently. But, like, for you, having both, they're contradicting themselves. Like, and poor little you's in the middle of those two.
What's going on?
Yeah, leave me alone. But I think, as I said, massive respect for you tackling it for your little girl, tackling it for yourself and thinking, right, well, I need to practice what I preach here a little bit if I'm going to, you know, fight for her and support her and sort of say, this might help you. You're doing it yourself, which is, it can't be easy. But I look forward to hearing how this medication helps, but more importantly, how you grow as a person, like with your talking therapy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Being a coach for ADHD and autism, like, Bet you didn't have that on your bingo card, did you?
Wasn't there, no. Wasn't there. But I feel like I need to, the same as I did with the baby classes, I feel like there's something that needs to be done to make things a little bit easier for people.
Yeah, the universe is showing you something here, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. In terms of links of how people can find you, is it Mamas Mindfulness, just that word on Instagram?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll put all of your links in the show notes for this. And if I get a Thursday free again, I'll be back there with little Teds.
Yes.
One more question. That you have a ball pit in your baby stay and play, a white one.
Yeah.
Where's it from?
Oh, I've forgotten the name of the company. Amelia's something.
Well,
Coventry-based company.
I want it.
Really lovely
I want
lady.
it. It's great. I brought her one from Aldi and it's rubbish. It had about 4.
Yeah.
No, it had about 15 balls in it.
You need the
and
good
it's
ball pit.
crap. You've got a really good one and I really liked it. So, okay, my love. And we are done. Thank you for listening to another episode of the You Look Happier podcast. If you are listening to this, please feel free to follow us on our socials, you_look_happier. And if you're watching it on YouTube, please click like and subscribe.